out there, starter out of the game. Jordan Butt, I mean, he pitched against us last year, and he mowed us down. He had like 15 Ks last year against us, and last night he had 9 Ks through 4 innings. So he's a solid pitcher. And he throws some good off-speed stuff, and our guys were just having a hard time adjusting to it, but we were able to work the pitch count up against him last night. So they had to pull him after 4 innings, and then from there we were able to capitalize. And it was the 6th inning was the turning point for us. Started off, Colin Harris got on base. Runner got picked off there after that, but then it was our 8 and 9 guys, Jack Muller, Corbin Ritter. They found ways to get on base. Jack got a walk. Corbin reached on an error. So we have our 8 and 9 guys on, and I always feel good when the top of the order comes up with guys on base because I know they're going to produce. Hudson hits a line drive, base knock to load the bases, and then Kale, I mean, he's doing it all year. Big moment, big opportunity for him. He hit the towering fly ball, gets lost in the lights. Left fielder didn't know where it was at, and as the bases clearing triple. So it's awesome. Then Gavin comes up and does the same exact thing. Hits a towering fly ball to left field. Again, the guy couldn't find it, so he ended up on second base scoring Kale. And then Sawyer comes up a couple batters later and drives Gavin. And so it was just a big rally, a good way for us to respond after the early part of the game.
Well, and you split with them. They topped you 11-2 a week ago, and you come back to your credit and get the win the second time around. Really a credit, and I think really verifies how this team continues to improve. Talk about that. What has been the biggest area of success, or just all around?
Yeah, it's just believing that we're capable of doing, or capable of going out there and competing with any team. The Hawkeye 10 is a competitive conference, but I don't think there's any team out there that's going to roll over you multiple times throughout the season. Obviously, we lost like 11-2 last time against these guys. We knew that we could get them, and we came out and played good baseball. Got the job done. I mean, we just know that we can compete with any team on any given night. It's just it's baseball sometimes.
Offensively, this team hitting 242, but you've got some guys that are really crushing the ball. I mean, Sawyer Terrell had a big hit last night. Zayden Parker. We had the Shenandoah game. He went 3 for 3. You got some guys offensively. And Gavin McLaren's 340 right now hitting, and Hudson McLaren at 283. Keston Smith 265. How much of these bats improved?
Yeah, it's credit to that junior class. I mean, all those guys you just listed off are all juniors. They've all been, this is their 3rd year playing varsity baseball, so they're just getting the opportunity to see the ball a little bit more. They're seeing the ball better. They're spending a lot of time in the cage before practice, getting those quality reps in, and they're just confident at the plate. I think the Shenandoah game, you talked to Gavin, he talked about the ball being the size of a watermelon up there.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, that's just how some of these guys see the ball right now, which is awesome.
Coach, talk about Red Oak game here at hand at home, a single with them, and then you play them again after the 4th of July to wrap up the year. Talk about the Tigers. What do you expect from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same. I've been talking about a lot of teams this year. They're going to be a scrappy, fundamental ball club. I think when I was looking at the statistics earlier today, I noticed that they had 10 more sacrifice bunts than we did. So they're going to be a team that if they get a guy on base, they're going to put the ball in play. They're going to try to move the runner over and try to put him in scoring position. So we got to be ready for that. Be mindful of what they're going to do on the base pass. They have, I think 83 stolen bases on the year according to Bounds. So they're going to run the base as well. They're going to put the ball in play. They're going to put bunts down, move runners over. So we got to be on our A game defensively and try to minimize those opportunities for them. And then at the plate for us, we just got to continue to hit the ball hard and make them make plays in the field.
Coach, who's going to be on the hill for the Trojans tonight?
Jack Muller's going to get the start. I always feel confident he's on the mound. His record doesn't show it, obviously, but I mean, he's got one of the highest, or lowest, I should say, batting averages against in the conference. 1.9 ERA. I mean, I feel great when Jack's on the mound for us, and I think he's going to have a good game tonight.
And a left-hander to boot here this evening. You bet. 24 strikeouts for Jack, 432 pitches, and as you mentioned, teams only hitting 140 against him. So it'll be fun to watch Jack go at it tonight. He's allowed 12 runs, 15 hits, walked 21, struck out 24 batters here so far this season in 22 innings pitched. Coach, thanks a bunch for your time. Best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Yep, thank you.
We'll be back with the starters here in Atlantic as Red Oak and the Trojans get set here in this Hawkeye 10. Conference Showdown. We're back right after this.
When you are in need of fuel, trust a company that keeps your home, farm, or business operation running smoothly. Olson Fuel Supply in Atlantic, locally owned and family operated. Olson Fuel Supply has been delivering to our neighbors and yours for years. Whether it's propane for your home or fuel for your farm or business, Olson Fuel Supply is here for you when you need us. Experience hometown service you can always count on all year long. Olson Fuel Supply, the keep you going company.
You're listening to Atlantic Trojan Baseball on KS95. Here with all the exciting action is Tom Robinson.
Welcome back to Atlantic alongside Jack McKee. I am Tom Robinson here at 95.7 FM on our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com TV, YouTube. Subscribe. It's powered by Nishdanet, and they are technically awesome. So is Jack McKee.
Thank you very much, Tom. The official batting order for the Red Oak Tigers going into this one as submitted by Mark Arison. They're 9-12 going into this one, and leading off it'll be Adam Beyer. He'll also be pitching in this one. Number 2, Brett Erickson. He's at shortstop. Number 3, Carson Roeder. He's catching. And batting cleanup, it'll be Reese Montgomery. He's playing third base in this one. Batting 5th, Cale Hall in left field. Batting 6th, Brody Bond in center field. Batting 7th, it'll be Mason Fisher at second base. Batting 8th, it'll be Blake Sloan in right field. And batting 9th, it'll be Osel Peterson. He's DHing for Landon Gigstead at first base. As a team, they're averaging 258, on-base percentage 370, and slugging percentage 295. They got 146 hits on the season so far, 65 RBIs, and 71 walks, Tom.
Very good, Jack. And we'll take a look at the Trojans right after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Atlantic High School Baseball.
Neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end. This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
Trojan Baseball on KS95.
Welcome back to Atlantic, Jack. Let's take a look at Red Oak and, Atlantic. And what do you see here?
Thank you very much, Tom. The official lineup for these Atlantic Trojans, as submitted by Nathan Block. As a team, they're averaging 242, 386, and 331. 111 hits on the season so far, 68 RBIs, and 78 walks. And they're currently 10th in the Hawkeye 10 Conference with a record of 6-12. Their official batting order, Hudson McLaren will be leading off at third base. He's averaging 283 on the season so far. Cale Jensen coming in second. He'll be batting second and playing center field in this one. Batting third, Gavin McLaren. He's behind the plate. He's averaging 340 on the season so far. Number 4, the batting cleanup, Sawyer Terrell. He'll be playing at shortstop. Batting 5th, Keston Schmidt. He'll be the DH for Corbin Ritter, who is playing in left field in this one. Batting 6th, it'll be Colin Harris. He's playing second base. Batting at 7th, it'll be Garrett Petty. He's playing first base in this one. Batting 8th, Jack Mueller. He'll be on the mound to start off for the Trojans, batting 8th. And then batting 9th, it'll be Carter Hadley playing right field. And he'll have his first at-bat on the season so far on this one, Tom.
That'll be fun to see. Thanks, Jack. And the Atlantic Trojans being introduced right now, and we're going to have the opening pitch coming up here in a moment. A 6:30 start. This is originally set for 7:30, and they did a good job of monitoring this weather. It was moved up to 5:30, and they said, wait a minute, let's get the storms through and get things dried out. And what a great call it was. The Atlantic Trojans playing Red Oak in a doubleheader in softball, and they are getting started at 6:30 as well, so that's an hour later than what they normally would. It is Volunteer Appreciation Night on the softball diamond. Robin Peterson, who's been just a stalwart for this program with the programs and taking admission, will be honored tonight between games. We're going to take a timeout. We're back into a 95.7 FM on our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we're embracing new changes to better serve you. As an independent wealth manager, I'm excited to partner with LPL Financial, bringing you comprehensive tools and resources backed by personalized service and dynamic technology. My focus remains on helping you achieve your financial goals with integrity and care. Visit oakpointwealth.com or call me, Erin Friend, at 712-207-2600. 3521 to learn more.
Visit www.oakpointwealth.com, 712-207-3521 to learn more about how Oak Point Wealth Management can help you pursue your financial goals.
Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Ag and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the keep-you-going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the keep-you-going store, 2nd and Locust in Atlantic.
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knudsen, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Atlantic's first look at Adam Beyer, Jack, and again go over Beyer's numbers here on the hill for Red Oak. They lead 1-0.
Beyer, another very strong pitcher, just like Jack Mueller. 14 strikeouts on the season. He has a record of 2-0. He has 16 runs allowed, 14 of them earned, 22 hits on the season, and he's pitched 18 2/3 so far in this one.
Yeah, a couple lefties going at it here tonight. Huh?
Yeah. And we saw, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a pitcher's duel so far on this one. Red Oak had that 1 run allowed, Trojans had that 1 run allowed from that single from Brody Bond. We saw some nice hustle there from him, but they left 3 stranded. Jack Mueller didn't look phased.
Well, I'm working with 3 lefties here, 2 on the hill, and Jack's lefty here. Writing down the numbers here.
It's not the most convenient, I know. I've been thinking about switching, maybe switch right-handed. That'd be very nice.
And Beyer gets set to go, and he works out of the stretch. Regardless of the baits occupied, he throws one inside to Hudson McLaren, and the count goes to 1-0. Hudson batting .283. He's been steady for the Trojans. 1-0 Tigers. Here's the pitch coming. There's a hot shot to third. Gobbled up, and the throw to first in time on a 5-3, a routine play. Pretty hard hit ball. But third baseman Reese Montgomery made it look easy. 1 up and 1 down for Atlantic here in the bottom half of the first inning. Batting for the Trojans, number 2 batter Cale Jensen. Right-handed hitter. Cale hitting .377 of the year. The center fielder for the Trojans having quite a year. We saw him pitch the win against Shenandoah here last Thursday, a week ago. Beyer's pitch swung on, ripped to left field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Cale Hall will pick it off the 1-hop and fire it in. And the Trojans have a runner aboard here in the bottom half of the first with Cale Jensen's single to left field. And Jensen just picked up his 21st single of the year, 21st hit of the year, his 9th single. And Gavin McLaren with power will step in.
Yeah, you had Cale Jensen there with a perfect swing. What can that kid not do? And then Gavin McLaren, also a kid that can have pretty much anything done on the diamond.
Here's the pitch on the way to Gavin, and it is a strike called. Good pitch by Beyer right there at the knees. You mentioned Gavin, Jack, hitting .340 on the year, 16 of 47. He's had a triple the other night against Shenandoah. Gavin with 12 RBI. Throw back over to first. Jensen back safely. Looking at Gavin's line. He's played in 17 of the 18 games. He started 17 of the 18. 47 at bats. The only one he missed when he took the trip up to South Dakota State University, where he's going to play football in 2026. Pitch outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Had a good junior year as he wraps it up on the baseball diamond. 1-1 pitch on the way. Jensen leads at first. Beyer brings the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gabby. Take a little off that. Runner first base. Cale Jensen with the single. Gavin at the plate. Lefty against righty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Throw back over to first base. Jensen back safely. Red Oak up 1-0. They scored that run on 1 hit. 1 Trojan error, hit, batter, and a walk in the top of the first. Jensen leads at first base, 1 on and 1 out. Here's the pitch. 5 ball. Popped up. First baseman Gigstead. Now the catcher coming over. Carson Roeder, and watch it go out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes, so Gavin stays alive.
for the Trojans. We're going to see the sun set tonight after a big rainy spell here the last of 3 days and playing some havoc with some baseball schedules, but putting a lot of smiles on people's faces here in Southwest Iowa. Some much-needed rain. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh, there goes the runner. He got caught. The throw to second base and the tag, and that'll be it for Jensen. He got caught. Nice job by Byer. He smelled that one, and then Cale Jensen got caught leaning the wrong way, and he had to go, and he was thrown out. And now there's 2 down for Atlantic, and the bases are clean.
Yeah, and Byer has a really nice pickoff move from what I've seen. I mean, he keeps his head towards the catcher, and he lifts up that leg, and then he throws it to first.
Curveball is tapped to third. Montgomery can't handle it. McLaren with good speed gets down the line, and he's safe on the air. The Trojans get a base runner on with 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning, and here comes Sawyer Terrell. So Hus McLaren ground out. Cale Jensen singled and then was thrown out trying to steal or got caught in a rundown. Gavin reaches on an error, and we'll have a run for him. It's going to be Xander Killian, the freshman speedster. Killian can run, believe me. He had a tremendous track season on the state qualifying shuttle hurdle relay team. He ran on that 4x1 as well that broke 44 seconds. He's a speedster. They're leading at first base. Here's the pitch to Terrell. That's outside for ball, I believe. Yeah, 1 ball and no strikes. Terrell, the shortstop for Atlantic, 1-0 Red Oak. 1 on, 2 down for Atlantic here in the bottom half of the first inning. Terrell hitting .250. Pitch is out of the zone, 2-0 to Terrell. Tigers have Brody Bond in center, Blake Sloan in right, and Cale Hall in left. Byer brings the 2-0 pitch. That one's, foul right side. And took about a half swipe at it. Reese Montgomery at third. Brett Erickson at short. Mason Fisher at second. Landon Gigstad is at first. And Byron Rowe to the battery. Byer the lefty in the stretch. Killian leads at first. Here's the pitch coming in. Line drive up the middle base hit. Killian will stand at second base. Atlantic with 2 on and 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. So Terrell with a base knock right up the middle for the Trojans. And that's his 13th hit of the season, 13 of 49, hitting .250 coming in. Caston Smith, the DH, will step in for Atlantic. Smith hitting .265 of the year, 2 on, 2 down, 1-0 Red Oak. Trojan side the first. Here's the pitch way outside, and the count is 1-0. Trojans trying to get something going with 2 down. Atlantic leading Red Oak 2-0 in the first inning. Here's the pitch, swung on a tapper. Down the third baseline, it had some English on it that went foul. Softball, I should say, in that doubleheader. Atlantic up 2-0 there early in that contest. That's after 1 inning of play. Byer the Hill, Atlantic has runners at first and second. Xander Killian, the runner at second base, and Sawyer Terrell at first. Schmidt, the DH at the plate, lefty against righty, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung on and gets away. The runners will advance on the pass ball. Now the Trojans have Killian at third. Terrell at second. As Smith, Jack can get a hold of one. Atlantic can score 2 here. They're down 1-0. That's a McLaren ground out. Cale Jensen with that single, then caught in a rundown, thrown out at second base. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, a tapper to first. Gigstad there to make the play, the unassisted out, and that'll be it for Atlantic. They left a pair. No runs, they got a hit, and no 1 error on the Red Oak Tigers. 1-0. Red Oak leads after 1 inning of play. We're back right after these at 95.7.
Equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
First Winnie Bank is the longest standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Winnie Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the top of the second. Red Oak with a 1-0 lead. They sent 7 to the plate at the top of the first inning. Adam Beyer led off, hit by a pitch. He eventually scored the lone run, an RBI infield single by Brody Bond. Blake Sloan will step in, 8-9, and back to the top of the order for Red Oak here in the top of the second inning. Jack Muller, the lefty, going against Beyer. Adam Beyer, the lefty for Red Oak. Here's the pitch. Strike called outside edge. Nice spot. The count is 0-1. To Blake Sloan, the 8th hitter of the lineup, hitting .226. Over the lefty, kicks and fires, swung on and missed. The count 0-2. Nice pitch by Muller. 8-9-1, batting for the Tigers, top of the second inning. Atlantic no runs and 2 hits. Red Oak 1 run on 1 hit. Here's a pitch. Curveball is just missed, and the count is 1-2. Oof. Pretty close there, and nice curve by Muller. We'll see if he brings it back here. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch coming in. That one off his elbow. That's a strike. Strike 3 called. He went on the inside edge. And
strike 3 for out number
strikeout number 2 for Muller.
Number 19.
Nocel Peterson, the batter, the 9th hitter in the lineup. Nobody on, 1 out for Red Oak Atlantic. And the Tigers facing off on Hawkeye 10 conference action tonight. They'll play again in July. 1-0. Red Oak lead. Nice curveball. How about that pitch, Jack? Yeah. That dropped right in the well. 0-1 the count. Muller likes that curve, and he's working for him. The pitch. Strike 2 called. He got the inside corner. Now he's ahead 0-2. Nocel Peterson, the DH. Batting for Gigstad, the first baseman. Adam Beyer on deck. Here's the pitch coming. Curveball swung on and missed. What a pitch by Muller. He's starting to groove here.
Swing and a miss. 2
up and 2 down. Both strikeouts. Sloan caught looking. Nocel Peterson swinging. 3 strikeouts for Muller. Nobody on and 2 down for Red Oak at the top of the second. Atlantic trailing 1-0. Here's Beyer. Hit by a pitch in the first, and he scored on the RBI by Bond. Here's the pitch to Beyer. Slaps it foul. Count 0-1. Nice night tonight. No wind at all. Maybe a little bit of a movement, some trees over west. Curveball swung on and missed. Muller's got it going here, Jack. 0-2 the count to Beyer. Nobody on and 2 down. Trojans trailing 1-0. Muller brings the pitch. That one outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got a couple to waste here to see if he can get the hitter to go chasing. Beyer hitting .296, swings and fouls that one back. He battles, leaves a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes, 12 singles. He's got a double, 4 RBI for the senior infielder. His 72nd at bat this season. He scored 16 runs with that run tonight. That one swung on and fouled left side. Hudson McLaren on the run towards the fence, and that one's out of play. Score remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Roger Warren working with me last night, Jack, had an interesting stat as far as foul balls. And he was watching the College World Series, and I think there were 9 straight foul balls in one of the games. So he Googled the record amount of foul balls in time in a game. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming in. There's a foul ball. 15 minutes in a College World Series. 15 minutes it took, 22 foul balls. Yeah.
Talk about a battle. I mean, that's impressive right there.
And then I asked him, what was the end result? And the guy ground out. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Curveball inside. Little chin music there. Count is 2-2. Adam Beyer, a tough out for the Trojans here. Nobody on and 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung on, popped up. Infield, shortstop. There is Terrell to make the catch, and that'll be it for the
Adam Meyer
Tigers.
pops out to Sawyer Terrell. Had
3 up and
shortstop,
3
and
down for the Tigers in the top of the second inning. Red Oak with a 1-0 lead. We'll head to the bottom of the second. We're back in 30.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Once you're back at the shop, we talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
We had the bottom half of the second inning. Our Tigers up 1-0 over the Trojans. Colin Harris, Grant Petty, and Muller will bat for Atlantic as they bat 6, 7, and 8 here in the bottom half of the second inning. Trojans left a couple the bottom half of the first. No runs. They had 2 hits, a single by Jensen. Terrell had a single as well in that frame. Just couldn't quite get that timely hit to get the run home. They'll try to get something going here in the bottom half of the second, letting no runs on a couple of hits. Tigers had 1 error, and Trojans left 2. Harris, the batter, the sophomore. Here's the pitch. That's a fastball in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. Colin Harris, a rod-headed batter. Solid player. Played a lot last year as a youngster as well. Fastball misses end. Count 2-0. State tournament wrestler for the Trojans. 2-0 the count to Harris. The 6th hitter in the lineup, hitting 175. The pitch by Beyer. That's a strike. The count is 2-1. Harris showing patience at the plate on this approach as he faces Adam Beyer for the first time tonight here in the bottom half of the second inning. Foul ball lining up 4-0. There's a slicer down the right side. Coming in is a right fielder. Slow, but it's a base hit for Harris. He'll round first, and Atlantic has a runner on. Their 3rd hit here in this early going. Leadoff hit for Colin Harris as he picks up his 8th hit of the season, hit of 41. So Grant Petty will step in, the first baseman for Atlantic, with 1 on and nobody down here in the bottom half of the second. Atlantic down 1-0 to the Tigers. Harris will lead away as Beyer goes back to work in the stretch. Here's the pitch and a bunt right in front of the plate. Picked up by Roeder. He's going to throw to second, and he didn't have to tag. He got the force. Nice play by Roeder, the catcher, and he got the ball to second baseman Mason Fisher. So they get the force out, and Petty at first on a fielder's choice. So nice job by Roeder.
Pitcher number 10,
and
Jack
there's
Muller.
1 down for Atlantic. Jack Muller, the batter, the 8th hitter in the Trojan lineup with 1 on and 1 out. Tigers up 1-0 over the Trojans. Jack Muller at the plate, hitting .061. Pitches outside for ball. The count is 1-0. Grant Petty, the runner at first for Atlantic. Muller throws left on the hill and bats right. 1-0. Swing and a miss. The count is 1-1 on a low pitch. They play Muller straight away. Center, left, and right. 1 ball and 1 strike. Muller, in 8th hitter in the lineup. Here's the pitch. Swung on a rip to left field, base hit. Trojans have 2 on and 1 out. Jack Muller.
Jack Muller.
How about that hit?
Goes to left field, puts runners at first and second with 1 away.
Carter Hadley will stand in. Hadley.
Right fielder Carter Hadley.
And you mentioned it. He has no average. He scored 7 runs as a base runner. He's played in 12 games. So, hey, his maiden voyage here for the Trojans late in the season.
Courtesy runner is number 23, Calvin Hayes.
Calvin Hayes will get a chance to run for Atlantic. 2 on, 1 out. 1-0 Red Oak. Carter Hadley, the batter. Here's the pitch coming in outside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Yeah, Hadley looking at, he scored 7 runs as a base runner. He's played in a dozen games. Here's the pitch coming. That's a swing and a miss. The count is first strike. See what Hadley can do here on his first at-bat of the season. 1-0 Red Oak. We're on the Trojan side of the second inning. 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2. Hayes at first. Grant Petty, the runner, at second for the Trojans. Bottom half of the second inning. Here's the 1-2 offering in the dirt. Gets away. Runners advance all the way to second and third, and now 2 in scoring position for Hadley on the pass ball.
Yeah, and he stuck with it really nicely behind the plate despite making the mistake there. It got past him, but he made a nice throw to third base, and it was just late as looks like Colin Harris will go in there safely.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Byer. Now there's 2 down for Atlantic. They've got 2 on. Runners at second and third.
Back to the top of the order, and third baseman Hudson McLaren.
Hudson McLaren, the batter. Here's the pitch. Strike called. The count is 0-1. Grant Petty, the runner, at third base. Hayes, the runner, at second. Count 0-1. Here's the pitch coming inside for a ball. Hudson McLaren ground out his first time up for the Trojans. Bottom of second, 2 on, 2 down, 1-0 Red Oak. Atlantic has a chance. Here's the pitch to Hudson. That's inside. What a chance for Hudson McLaren. 4 RBI in the year. He's batting .283. Atlantic as a team batting .242. 2-1 pitch. Half swing strike. Now 2-2. 2 down as Byer tries to get out of trouble here with 2 on. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hudson. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. The count is full at 3-2. First base is open. On deck is Cale Jensen. Singled his first time up. Stretch for Byer. Here's a 3-2 pitch on the way. And it is outside for a ball 4. Atlantic loads the bases. Not a lot of harm done for the Tigers unless Jensen hits a grand slammer. Bases are loaded.
2 away, the bases are loaded for Cale Jensen.
So it makes it easy for the defense. There's a force anywhere now to get out of the inning. Jensen at the plate. He had a bomb the other night against Shenandoah. He's got some power. Bases jammed. 2 down. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Cale Jensen hitting .377 of the year. 21 singles. Or 9 singles, 21 hits, 8 doubles. 1-0 pitch on the way with the bases loaded. That's a strike outside edge. Jensen, a couple of home runs, 16 RBI. Every bag is occupied with 2 down here at the bottom of the second inning. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, a tapper to third. Montgomery picks up the ball. He'll step on the bag, and there's your force.
Jensen.
Atlantic leaves the bases loaded.
Third baseman Reese Montgomery to end the inning.
Montgomery on the unassisted put out
no errors
at third base. We're through 2 in Red Oak, leading by the score of 1-0. We're back right after these.
Cass Health in Atlantic, Iowa is a nationally recognized hospital, and we are proud of the awards and all of our recent accomplishments. But do you know what drives us to be the very best? You. We're passionate about helping our patients heal and feel their very best at any age and any stage of life. Cass Health. Neighbors caring for neighbors.
At Outfitters Plus in Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear. Head to Outfitters and work with the design pros to make your customized tees, team apparel, and personalized swag for your business a reality. Whether it's fan apparel for your high school or youth sports teams, your business, or you just want to make something your own, you'll have everyone saying, "Where'd you get that?" Don't forget, Outfitters will also add your group store online to make ordering a breeze. Get personalized at Outfitters Plus Outlet Store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the top of the third. Red Oak with a 1-0 lead. They scored 1 run on 1 hit in the top of the first inning. RBI infield single by Brody Bond to send Byer home from third, who was hit by a pitch. Got on the merry-go-round and got to third base and came home. Top of number 3, Brett Erickson at the plate, and the pitch by Muller is a strike called, and the count is 0-1. Nice pitch by Muller. It's pitched well after that first inning when he hit a batter and walked one. Atlantic had an error. The lefty brings the 0-1 to Erickson. A chopper right back where it came from. Muller stabs it, fires to first. There's an easy out for the Trojans.
Brett Erickson with the comebacker to Jack
1-3.
Throws him out at first.
And Carson Roeder will step in. He flew out to center field to kill Jensen, who didn't have to move a muscle. Back of the first inning. Tigers up 1-0. We're in the top of the third. Reese Montgomery is on deck for Red Oak. Roeder, a right-handed hitter. And the pitch on the way. Curve is slapped to is short. Sawyer Terrell picks up cleanly, fires to first, and gets the out by a step. 6-3, 2 up and 2 down. What impresses you about Muller, Jack?
I mean, he looked unfazed coming into the second inning after coming off the first. He allowed a run in the first, but it's always great to come back in and send 2 down on strikes in the second inning and an easy pop out to shortstop. I mean, he looked unfazed after that first inning. That's what I like about him.
And 3 strikeouts, and he's retired 5 straight. That pitch is fouled off by the hitter, Reese Montgomery, the cleanup batter. Reached an error back in the first inning. He was left at third base. Nobody on, 2 down for the Tigers, top of the third. Red Oak with a 1-0 lead over Atlantic. Both teams have left some runners here early on. Jack Muller, the lefty, brings the 0-1 offering. That one's inside. The count is 1-1. When you look at Adam Byer, the Tiger pitcher, is similar left-hander. He delivers a little bit differently. He sets up differently. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming in. That's slowing in. What do you think about Adam Byer?
Adam Byer's great. I mean, coming into the game, he had kind of taken care of business on the mound, and I mean, it's always great to help your own cause. We can see if he does it here.
2-1. Swung on, fouled back. That'll leave the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Byer at the plate. Muller has retired 5 straight. 1-0 Red Oak. We're in the top of the third inning. Jack Muller with a sign. Here's the pitch on the way, and it is a curveball that's fought off and foul. Reese Montgomery I have at the plate here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Montgomery reached an error his last time up. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, a chopper to second. Harris gobbles it up. He'll fire to first and get the out on Reese Montgomery.
Reese Montgomery grounds out to Colin Harris.
3 up and 3 down for the Tigers to the top of the third inning. And the Tigers lead 1-0. We're back after these.
Looking for the ultimate place to host your party? It's time to roll into the Super Bowl on Highway 71 in Atlantic, the place to celebrate birthdays, family nights, or even date nights. Glow Bowling lights up your Friday and Saturday nights. We've got bumpers and ramps for the kiddos, and plenty of lanes for the grown-ups' bragging rights. Whether you're here to compete or just kick back and relax, the Super Bowl is where memories are made. Call Dan at 243-4656 to book your party today. The Super Bowl in Atlantic.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Welcome back to Atlantic as we head to the bottom half of the third inning. Red Oak with a 1-0 lead over the Trojans. They scored that 1 run in the first inning. Atlantic has left a few here in the ball game, and Gavin McLaren will stand in. He reached on an error and was left stranded at third base. Adam Byer on the hill for the Tigers. Works into the stretch. Here's the pitch on the way, high and away for a ball. Gavin, Terrell, and then Caston Schmidt for Atlantic, 3, 4, and 5 batting for the Trojans here in their side of the third inning. Meyer brings the pitch, swung on, tap foul. 1-1 the count to the junior catcher for the Trojans. McLaren, a .340 hitter. Gets on base about 50-50. Slugging a .489 for the powerful catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Curve, half swing, ball. Count 2-1. Nice curve by Beyer. Almost got McLaren fooled there. Was able to hold back. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch on the way. And way outside. The count goes to 3-1. Gab McLaren leading off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Softball Atlantic up 12-0 in that one. That's a doubleheader. And the 3-1 pitch on the way. That one's inside, and that's going to be ball 4. So McLaren on base for the 2nd consecutive time. This one a walk by Adam Beyer, and that'll bring up Sawyer Terrell with 1 on and nobody down. Trojans need some timely hits here. We're in the bottom half of the 3rd, and Red Oak up 1-0. Terrell, then Caston Schmidt for the Trojans. McLaren leads away at first, and Beyer works into the stretch. Daniel throw back over to first. He has a good move, as you mentioned earlier, Jack. They got Cale Jensen in a rundown. In that 1st inning, had singled with 1 out and then got caught leaning the wrong way. Here's the pitch coming. Swung on, headed to 3rd. Stabbed by Montgomery. Fires a second for the force. And there's the out as they force out McLaren at a 5-4.
So
Terrell safe in a fielder's choice. 1 on and 1 out for Atlantic in the bottom of 3rd. Here comes Schmidt, the DH.
Hitter number 20, Keston Schmidt.
Keston Schmidt ground out to first. His first at bat. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-0 Red Oak. 1 on and 1 out as Beyer goes back to work. Here's the pitch, swung on. Tip foul over the first base dugout. Count 0-1 to Keston. Schmidt with Colin Harris on deck, and Harris able to get a single his last time up. Schmidt hitting in the 5th spot tonight for the Trojans. A .265 hitter, 3 RBI. Gets that one high to right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Rounding second to base is Terrell. He'll race to 3rd. Here's the throw, not in time. Atlantic has runners at the corners. And Keston Schmidt gets a single.
Keston Schmidt.
And he drives Sawyer Terrell all the way to 3rd. And Atlantic has something to go on here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, great job from Sawyer there, or Keston, sorry. Had it right in the sweet spot in between center and right field. And you always love that as a hitter.
So the Trojans pick up their 5th hit of the ball game. No runs in 5 hits. And the batter is Colin Harris, who singled his last time up. We're going to have a runner for the Trojans. Jonathan Bullock will be the runner. Jonathan Bullock will run.
The runner at first will be number 4, Johnny Bullock.
So Schmidt will be run 4, but he got the job done with that single to right center, pushing Terrell all the way to 3rd. Only 1 out, and here's Harris. Beyer working the stretch, and he'll throw back over to 1st. Trojans left 2 runners in the 1st inning, 3 in the 2nd. You have 5 hits yet to score as Beyer works the stretch. Bullock leads at 1st. The pitch is low and in. Nice job by Roeder. He's got to protect the plate with the Trojan runner at 3rd, Sawyer Terrell. 1 ball and 0 strikes to Colin Harris. Here's the pitch by Beyer coming in. There's a swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1 to Colin Harris. Harris only struck out 7 times this year. He's a tough out for the Trojans. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a strike called. Good pitch by Beyer. Now the count goes to 1-2. Terrell at 3rd. Bullock, the runner at 1st, running for Schmidt. 2 on, 1 out for Atlantic in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's the throw back to 1st. Got to be careful if he gets an errant throw. That'll bring in a run. First baseman is Gigstad. Fisher at 2nd. Erickson Brett at short, and Reese Montgomery at 3rd. Beyer works, fires 1-2 pitch. Tapper right back where it came from. He'll stab it, throws it home, and the tag not in time, and the ball squirts away anyway. Terrell is safe, ties the game. Throw to 3rd in the tag, and they got him. There's 2 down, but Terrell running all the way, and he gets the run for the Trojans.
Colin Harris safe on the fielder's
Schmidt was thrown out at 2nd, going to 3rd. And Harris ends up at second.
Bullock thrown out at third base by the catcher.
With a fielder's choice. And Atlantic has a run in. We're tied at 1 at the bottom of the third inning. Aggressive base running by the Trojans. That yielded 1 run and then 1 out, Jack. But credit the base running by Sawyer Terrell and really Bullock. Harris at second base. 1 on, 2 down, 1 in. Here's the pitch coming in to Petty. Swings and misses. Count 0-1. Petty at the plate. He's represents a 5th hitter to appear here in the bottom of the third inning. Atlantic gets a run across. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Curve ball misses. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Gab McLaren led off with a walk. Terrell reached in a fielder's choice. Schmidt with a single. Harris with the ground ball scoring Terrell. That's a swing and a miss for strike 2. 2 hits for Atlantic in the first, 2 in the second. They have 5 hits here for the ball game. They've scored 1 run. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Petty slices one down the right side. That's going to drift foul. Boy, you straighten that one out. That's going to be extra bases and a run. Harris will go back to second base for Atlantic. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Atlantic and Red Oak tied at 1-1 here in the bottom half of the first inning. Red Oak scored a run in the first. Atlantic plates a run here in the bottom half of the third. Softball Atlantic up 12-0. Looks like the bottom half of the second there. Trojans a big win over Clarinda last night, 9-4. They plated 5 runs in the 7th. Zoe Kirchhoff shut the Cardinals down the bottom half of the frame. Swung on, fouled straight back. Atlantic scored 4 runs in the 5th to take a 4-2 lead. Then they plated 5 runs when they needed to. Picked up the win there. They've got the doubleheader with Red Oak tonight. 1-2 pitch. Here it is. Swung on, hit to first base. Gigstad makes the catch. Little blooper down the first base line. A pop out to Gigstad at first, and that'll be it for the Trojans. But they tie the game. They scored a run on 1 hit. No errors, and they left 1 runner.
Tied up after 3
We're through 3 innings. We're tied at 1-1, and back right after these at 95.7 FM.
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
Can you talk that fast, Jack?
That's impressive.
It really is. I think that's technology. Have a little help with that. But 1-1 game. Atlantic makes it interesting with a run in the bottom of the third inning. Sawyer Terrell, who reached in a fielder's choice, scored from third base. So Atlantic with a run across, and we're tied at 1. We go to the top of the fourth inning. And the batter for the Tigers will be Cale Hall. I think I've got his number 5. He's actually number 3. Cale Hall, the batter. Here's the pitch on the way, outside for a ball. Hall batting in the 5th spot. Where's number 3? Tigers in their pinstripe black uniforms with orange numbers, their school colors. 1-0 pitch, curveball just missed away. The count is 2-0. You know, Muller, when you look at his work so far tonight, the first 3 innings, really hasn't fallen behind too often. Maybe a couple 3 batters, but he's battled back nicely, swing and a miss. Count is 2-1. Curveball's been working. He's a left-handed thrower against a right-handed hitter, Cale Hall. Then Brody Bond and Mason Fisher, 5, 6, and 7. Here's the curve. That one's fought off by Hall. The count is even at 2-2. Bond had an RBI single to back of the first inning. Tied at 1-1 here at the top of the fourth. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cale Hall, the left fielder. Here's the pitch coming. There's a ground ball to first base. Petty has it. He'll charge to first and get the unassisted play. Nice job by Petty, the sophomore. 1 out for the Tigers here at the top of the fourth. Brody Bond will stand in. And when you look at the job Muller's done, he's retired how many consecutive here, Jack?
Looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 straight batters as Bond will stand in and swings a comebacker. Right back to Muller. He'll fire to first, and they're helping him out. Saving his arm. Pitch count low there. And a 1-3. 2 up and 2 down.
Brody Bond to come.
Fisher, the batter.
Jack Muller.
Make that 9. I mean,
there you go.
And the batter will be second baseman Mason Fisher, number 2.
Mason Fisher will step in. Flew out to center in that first inning. 1-1 game. We're in the top of the fourth. Muller clicking right along. Here's the pitch. That missed high. And the count is 1-0 to Mason Fisher. Second baseman for the Tigers. Muller works quick. 1-0 pitch. That's a strike. Little curve action. The count is 1-1. Trojans' defense has been pretty solid. He had 1 error in the first inning. 1-1 pitch coming. Curve ball. Strike 2. How about that pitch? He just looks so confident out there, Jack. I mean, he's grooving right along. He's not waiting. He's working fast. That one sliced foul. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-1 game. We're in the top of the fourth inning. Muller works quick. Here's the 1-2 offering. Curveball swing and a miss, and Muller gets a strikeout. How many is that in a row?
That is 10 in a row he's put out in order, Tom. Amazing work.
Wow. 1-1 game. We go the bottom half of the first inning. We're back right after these.
Just sell vehicles, we help you find the perfect one.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we're embracing new changes to better serve you. As an independent wealth manager, I'm excited to partner with LPL Financial, bringing you comprehensive tools and resources backed by personalized service and dynamic technology. My focus remains on helping you achieve your financial goals with integrity and care. Visit oakpointwealth.com or call me, Erin Friend, at 712-207-3521 to learn more.
Visit www.oakpointwealth.com, 712-207-3521 to learn more about how Oak Point Wealth Management can help you pursue your financial goals.
Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Ag and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go the bottom half of the fourth inning, and the Trojans and the Tigers tied up at 1-1. And Jack McKee, or as Jack McKee said, Adam Beyer has retired 10 straight hitters. And Jack Muller leads off for Atlantic here in the bottom half of the fourth. The Trojans played a run to tie it up in the bottom of the third. Muller, Hadley in the top of the order for the Trojans. Adam Beyer steps on the hill for his fourth inning of work, and that pitch in the dirt for a ball. Muller singled back in the second inning for the Trojans. Atlantic with 1 run and 5 hits. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Curve misses away, and the count is 2-0. Carter Hadley on deck. He had his first official at bat of the season, and he struck out. See what he can do the second time around. Adam Beyer brings a 2-0 pitch, and Muller swipes it to short. Charging Erickson, gloves it, fires it, gets the out. 6-3 by Brett Erickson at short. Nice sidearm fire. Carter Hadley will stand in for the Trojans.
Right fielder, number 2, Carter Hadley.
Nobody on it, 1 out at the bottom of the fourth inning. We're tied at 1. On deck, leadoff batter Hudson McLaren for the Trojans. In the stretch, Adam Beyer. Here's the pitch coming in. That's a ball outside. The count is 1-0 to Carter Hadley. Lefty against righty here. Here's the 1-0 offering from Beyer to Hadley. Swung on and fouled straight back, and it's a 1-1 count. Atlantic 12 runs and 9 hits in softball. It is Volunteer Appreciation Night. Robin Peterson will be recognized between games. Here's the pitch. Hadley swings and pops it up right field. Sloan, eye to the sky, makes the catch. 2 up and 2 down for Atlantic. Well, he made contact, Jack.
Yeah. Great piece of hitting there. I mean, just a little bit to the left, it would have been in there for a single.
That was his second at bat of the season in baby steps, man. He struck out his first time, and this time he made contact, flew to right. Sloan was there to make the grab. Hudson McLaren with his 3rd plate appearance against Beyer tonight. Ground out and walks. Here's the pitch in the dirt. The count is 1-0 to McLaren, a right-handed batter against lefty Adam Beyer. McLaren hitting .283 coming in. 1-1 game. Here's the pitch, high and away. It's interesting what can happen with 2 down. A lot of times you'll see that 2-out hit that turns into a run, maybe 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Hudson McLaren. He's taken that all the way. The count is 2-1 with a strike right down the middle. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1-1 game. 2 up and 2 down for Atlantic so far. We'll see what McLaren can do at the plate. On deck is 2-hitter Jensen. Slapper to third. Gets by the third baseman, Montgomery. Erickson backs him up, but can't get the play. A base hit for McLaren.
Yeah, it took a really soft hop there on the third base side. Reese Montgomery kind of got above his glove, or got below his glove. And a great job backing up by Brett Erickson at shortstop. And it was a bit of an ambitious throw over there on the other side. And, I mean, he was already there.
Have to see how they ruled it. I ruled it a hit, but we'll see how. Mr. McLaren down there at the PA. What'd you rule that, Mr. McLaren? E5. So we'll. Hudson reaches on an error. And there's the Trojans getting the 3rd out of the inning on the fly ball. So Jensen flies out to left, and that'll be it for Atlantic, but they made just a tiny squeak there with McLaren reaching on the error. And we're through 4 innings of play. It's a 1-1 game. Atlantic 1 run and 5 hits. And the Tigers a run and 1 hit. And we're back right after these.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor, and on behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the keep-you-going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the keep-you-going store, 2nd and Locust in Atlantic.
On KS95.
And welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the top of the 5th inning. And we've got a 1-1 game and a pitcher's duel, as you mentioned earlier, Jack. That's what we got going on. Blake Sloan will lead it off, number 8, and then 9, top of the order for Red Oak. Top of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch, high for a ball. 1-0 the count to Blake Sloan, who was caught looking. That 2nd inning, Muller had back-to-back strikeouts, and then Beyer popped out. Here's the pitch, swung on, hit up the middle. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 2nd hit to the ball game for the Tigers as Blake Sloan drives one. Little blooper out into center, dropped in for a base knock. And that's just their 2nd hit. Brody Bond had a single back in the 1st and drove in a run. And that was an infield hit, and now Blake Sloan with a single up the middle to lead off the top of the 5th inning. Osel Peterson, the DH, will step in. The 9th hitter in the lineup for the Red Oak Tigers, Adam Beyer. We're going to have a base runner there, Jack. And looks like...
number 16,
yes,
I believe.
Sir. So we have a courtesy runner, a pinch runner. It's going to be... I'm not getting that on the... Here, maybe we can double check there. No 16 what I have here. We'll look on the program. Maybe grab that.
Could be number 18. Hudson Fisher would be that name.
All right. Let's we'll pick it up. Peterson at the plate with one on and nobody down here in the top of the 5th inning. And the throw back over, not in time. Good move by Muller. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that is Fisher, number 18. Well,
Yep.
So Mason Fisher will be the runner at first, or Hudson Fisher, rather. Here's the pitch and a bunt down the first base line is a beauty. Muller charging. He's got to hurry, throws, and gets the out. Good bunt by the Tigers there. Osell Peterson, and he gets a sack as Hudson Fisher goes to second. And a good sacrifice bunt by Peterson. And why not, Jack, when you've got a 1-1 game and 2 pitchers throwing well? Coach Erickson going to the small ball here to try to manufacture something. The top of the order is Byer. Here's the pitch. Byer half swing. Pitch slowing away for a ball. 1-0 the count. Byer hit by a pitch and scored the lone run for Red Oak and popped up to Terrell at short. Fisher leads at second. 1 on and 1 out. Here's the pitch coming. It hit him. Yeah, check that. Is the wrist part of the bat? Okay. I think we need to really clarify that rule because we've seen that a couple of times. And I always thought when you were swinging the bat and hit your wrist, that was a foul ball or a hit if it would get in fair territory. So we need to get that verified. But they call that a hit by pitch.
One out, the batter, shortstop Brett Erickson.
Byer is at first, hit by pitch. And at second is Blake Sloan. His runner's Fisher. Pitch is high and away. The batter's Brett Erickson showed bunt and a good pitch by Muller high and away. 2 on, 1 out. 1-1 game. We're at the top of the 5th. Fisher running for Sloan at second base. Here's the 1-0 by Muller. There's the bunt. Another beauty. McLaren has to fire from the catcher's spot. He gets the out at first. Wow, what a throw by McLaren. That was a tough play. Brett Erickson laid it down. He got the job done, Jack. But McLaren had a great play.
Yeah, you just do what you can as a catcher in that situation. I mean, you know you're going to play small ball. And in my opinion, you just take that easy out.
So the runners advance to second and third. 2 on and 2 down for Red Oak here in the top of the 5th. Carson Roeder the batter. He's made contact, flew out and ground out. First base open. Muller fires. That one sliced foul right side. The count is 0-1. Fisher getting some exercise, and that's going to be it for the Tigers.
Roeder with the ground.
Ground out by Roeder.
At first base.
Up by Petty, his second unassisted play of the ball game. And we're through 4.5. It's a 1-1 game. We go to the bottom half.
After 4.5, we're all
of the 5th inning. We're back right after these.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the keep-you-going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the keep-you-going store, 2nd and Locust in Atlantic.
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second to none.
We are with you from the word go. Contact Mark Van Tiger, Gary Dinkla, Nick Knutson, or John Becker to partner with a team that puts your business needs first.
Come to bat in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's a 1-1 game, a pitcher's duel. Adam Byer will take the hill here in the 5th. Jack Muller's gone 5 innings, Jack McKee, and now Trojans and the Tigers in a tight one here.
Yeah, definitely.
It could come down to an error, so now defense has got to be tight. Atlantic with 5 hits has had their opportunities. 1 runner and 5 hits, an error. And Red Oak, 1 run on 2 hits. Hello, Richie. Thank you very much. Richie Anderson delivering the score of the girls contest. Atlantic 12-0 over Red Oak in 4 innings. Gavin looks at a strike here, and the count is 0-1. Bottom half of the 5th. 1-1 game, and McLaren The batter for Atlantic has been on base twice via the air and a walk. Swings at a curve and a misses. Great pitch by Byer. No balls. 2 strikes. Here's McLaren back in. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Byer in the stretch. Here's the pitch coming in. Curve misses away. Trojan going with 3, 4, and 5. McLaren, Terrell, Schmidt. For Atlantic, Trojans with 1 run on 1 hit to tie it up in the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, slice foul. McLaren leading off the Trojans, the catcher. He has been clocked, and we talked about this, in 4.6 speed at a football camp a year ago. And we saw that speed when he hit that triple against Shan last Thursday, pitch inside. That was fun to watch him run around the base paths. Atlantic won that game over Shan. Atlantic has won 5 of their last 7 games. They came from behind to beat Clarinda last night 7-6 in a thriller. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Drop 3rd strike. Rhoda throws to first to get the out. And there's 1 down. Terrell, the batter, singled and reached on a fielder's choice. He's been on base twice for Atlantic. Bottom of 5th inning. This game is 1 hour and 8 minutes old. We start at 6:30 tonight. Jack, as we talked about, the administrators did a great job of planning. They waited for this storm to get through. Here's the pitch coming to Terrell. Tapper to short. Erickson charges, gobbles it up. He's got to hurry. There's the throw, and it is in time. It got him by half a step. Terrell was charging down the line, and Brett Erickson, a sure-handed and good arm at short, gets the out at a 6-3. This game was scheduled to start at 7:30. They moved it up to 5:30, and then not too long after that, they said, wait a minute. We're going to move it back to 6:30 to see if it does storm. Save everybody a trip to the Diamond. And it turned out we had a shower at 4 o'clock. It lasted about 15 minutes. There was a few little wet spots in the field, but they dried up in a hurry after the sun came out. And we're going to get 1 in. The batter for the Trojans, Keston Schmidt, round out and single to back in the 3rd. 2-0 the count to Schmidt. 1-1 game. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Byer's gone the distance for the Tigers. He works the stretch. Here's the pitch on the way outside, the ball 3. Schmidt will be taken all the way here, Jack. He's key now is to get base runners. Here's the pitch to Schmidt. That's ball 4. 4 straight out of the zone. Atlantic has the runner on with 2 down here at the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, and we'll see if we start shortening the field here. I mean, we saw that from the Tigers in the top of the 5th, and they had a really nice job shortening the field, playing some small ball. They had 2 sacrifice bunts, and that one brought a runner to second, but unfortunately nothing came to pass.
Colin Harris, the batter for Atlantic, 1 on and 2 down. There's a strike called. Harris singled back in the 2nd, reaching a fielder's choice in the 3rd. The 6th hitter in the Trojan lineup, Grant Petty on deck. 1 on, 2 down, 1-1 game, bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch to Harris, swing and a miss. Byer works that outside corner. A runner at first base is Keston Schmidt, the DH, batting for Corbin Ritter, the left fielder. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on a tapper down the first baseline foul. 1-2 the count to Colin Harris, the sophomore. McLaren struck out. Terrell ground out. Close play at first base. Brett Erickson making the throw to get the out. 1-2 the count to Harris. Here's the pitch. Inside for a ball. Gets stopped by Roeder. Schmidt has to stay at first base. Now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Atlantic's run came in the 3rd inning. Terrell reached a fielder's choice and scored on a ground ball. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High. The count is 3-2. So Byer struggling with control a little bit here after shooting down the first 2 Trojan batters with a K and a 6-3. 3-2 to Colin Harris. Schmidt at first. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Colin stays alive for the Trojans. You're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. There's a right-handed batter. Batting the 6th spot, hitting 175, coming in. Here's a 3-2 pitch with 1 on and 2 down. Ball 4, I believe. Well, maybe not. No, now it's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There we go. Thanks for the count. Yeah. 3-2 the count. Runner at second base for Atlantic is Schmidt. Went on down to second. He thought it was 3-2. Here's the pitch coming. There's a ground ball to short. Erickson charging. Third baseman Montgomery coming over, and the ball gets away. Everybody's going to be safe on the error.
That was an unfortunate combination of events there for the Tigers. I mean, you had Reese Montgomery coming to cover it. He didn't get it. Brett Erickson was to back it up, but then you saw Keston Schmidt kind of running past, getting in the way, and he couldn't see it. It got kicked off of his foot and went into foul territory. I mean,
well, that's what Coach Erickson's going to talk about here. If the ground ball hits the runner cleanly, the runner's out. Now the base umpire is going to come home, and they're going to talk about this. While they do that, we'll have a game recap. The Tigers jumped out to 1-0 lead in that first inning. Adam Beyer hit by a pitch. Erickson struck out. Roeder flew out. Montgomery reached on an error. Cale Hall with a walk. Bases loaded. Brody Bond with his infield single brought Adam Beyer home. Then Muller really buckled down. He retired, 10 straight? Jack McKee.
10 straight, yeah.
Atlantic scored the run in the third inning, and it led off with a walk by McLaren, Terrell fielder's choice. He eventually scored on a ground ball by Colin Harris. 2 down for the Trojans.
Runners at the corners.
Runners at first and third.
With 2 outs.
And the Trojans' Grant Petty will step in.
And it will be number 7 hitter, first baseman Grant Petty.
So I believe we've got a new thrower here, Jack McKee, and we're going to pick that up here. So the meeting on the hill, and the new pitcher, I believe, is Brett Erickson. So we'll have
new pitcher will be number 14, Brett Erickson.
I think at shortstop now is Brody Bod. So we'll have to pick some of those defensive changes coming up. We'll take a break as Erickson warms up. It's a 1-1 game. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Back right after these.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
Olson's Outdoor Power is your one-stop service and equipment shop for all things outdoor. We sell the best power sports products in the business, from Polaris, Can-Am, Sea-Doo, and Ski-Doo, trailers to tackle any job from H&H, Triton, and Wilson, and we continue to lead the way in lawn and garden equipment with great products from Exmark, Dixie Chopper, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, Steel, and Echo. Add factory-trained technicians in 2 locations, and it's easy to see why Olson's Outdoor Power is the leader in all things outdoor. Olson's Outdoor Power, your one-stop service and equipment shop with locations in Atlantic and Carroll.
Petty will stand in. Brett Erickson on the hill now for the Tigers.
Brett Erickson.
We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. 1-1 game. Erickson's pitch is swung on and missed. This guy's got some speed here, Jack. Atlantic has runners at first and third with 2 down. We'll get Erickson's numbers here in a moment. Here's the pitch to Grant Petty. Swung on and fouled straight back on a nice cut by the sophomore. 1-1 game, a pitching change. Beyer went 4 2/3, I should say, for the Tigers. Runners at first and third with 2 down. Harris is going to walk between first and second. Now he's in trouble. Here comes the runner home. Here's the throw to the plate, and an easy out for the Tigers. Well, the Trojans tried a little trickery there, and they didn't get her done. Schmidt was thrown out trying to come home. Harris just started walking towards second, and throw down home, and they got Schmidt thrown out, so Petty will be at the plate when we come back here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Boy, it's a 1-1 game. We got it good in here. We're back right after these on 95.7 FM, our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com, TV, YouTube, powered by Nishnanet.
First Windy Bank is the longest standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Windy Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254.
The Hill in the sixth inning. He's had a good run. He had 10 straight putouts at one point. Tigers 1 run and 2 hits. Atlantic 1 run and 5 hits. And the batter for Red Oak is going to be Reese Montgomery, the cleanup hitter, then Cale Hall and Brody Bond. A 1-1 game. We're the top of the sixth, the Tigers side of the sixth inning. Muller on the hill, the lefty kicks and fires. There's a swing and a foul straight back. And the count is 0-1 to Reese Montgomery. Reached an error in the first and ground out in the third inning. Montgomery, a right-handed batter against the lefty Jack Muller. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's inside for a ball. Montgomery hitting .362 on the season. The leading hitter actually is Osel Peterson, hitting .545, but he's only 11 plate appearances. That pitch is ripped high. Center field, Jensen there. Eye to the sky, a couple of steps in, makes the grab. And there's one out here in the top of the sixth.
Reese Montgomery flies out to Cale Jensen.
Montgomery gave that a nice ride, and Cale Jensen, not a lot gets past that guy in center field. He makes the grab. One out here at the top of the sixth inning. Cale Hall walked in the first and ground out to Petty in the fourth at first. Here's the pitch. Curve drops in for a strike. How about that?
That was really nice there from Muller. He hasn't lost a touch since the start of this game.
He really hasn't. Good point, and he just keeps getting stronger. 0-1 pitch coming in. There's a bunt. Nice one. Picked up by McLaren in foul territory. That's in the box. And the count goes to 0-2 as Muller works ahead of Cale Hall, who walked again and was left stranded at first base. Tigers left the bases loaded that first inning. 1-1 game. We're at the top of the sixth. Nobody on and one out for Red Oak, Cale Hall, and then Brody Bond on deck. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball to Petty. He'll stab it, and he makes the unassisted play. He's got a hurry, and he got there for 2 up and 2 down.
Scoots down the line.
I chuckled because it looked like he wasn't getting too big a hurry.
he was jogging halfway, but he realized, hey, this guy's got some wheels on him.
Exactly, Cale Hall with good speed, Jack, and he got down the line, and that play was a lot closer than it should have been, but Grant made another unassisted play. Good job at first by Grant. Nobody on it, 2 down for Red Oak, top of the sixth. Here's Brody Bond. Bond now playing it short. Adam Beyer went to center on the pitching change, swing and a miss. 1-1 the count. Boy, and you're right about Muller. Really impressed with this young man. He's a junior, left-hander. He's just a grooving right along. He had that first inning where he hit a batter and walked a batter. 1-1 pitch, inside for a ball, 2-1. Curveball has been working well, and just his body language out there and the confidence that he displays here. He gets out of this one. He's going 7, I believe. I don't have a pitch count on him, but it can't be that many. The Tigers' approach to the plate are aggressive. They have attacked the first pitch many, many times. 3-1 the count to Brody Bond. Here's the pitch, swung on and back to Petty, gets through for a error. So Bond with a 2-out arrival on the air at first. Mason Fisher.
Brody Bond reaches on an
that was a hot shot, went out into right field, arrow the Trojans, and Fisher will stand in, flew out and struck out. 1 on, 2 down, Red Oak here in the top of the sixth inning, 1-1 game. Game time 6:30 is when we started. Muller in the stretch, he's going to bring the pitch. There's a line drive deep left. Oh, there's Ritter. Coming in, makes the catch. It sounded harder than I thought. I noticed Jack was chuckling at me a little bit, and I don't blame him. I thought that might go, and
it's 1 error.
But Ritter was there to make the catch and a fly ball to left.
Still knotted at 1 apiece.
Yeah, we're still tied at 1-1. No runs for the Tigers. No hits, so 1 error, and they left 1 at first base. Hey, we go the bottom half of the sixth. We got a game. 1-1 tie, and we're back right after these.
At 2nd Street Auto, it's our mission to get you back on the road fast. And it all starts with free local towing. Once you're back at the shop, we talk you through your car repair with a free and fair estimate. We do everything in-house so you know who's working on your car. Our Hercules tires come with free road hazard repair, free rotation for the life of the tires, and a free alignment check. And nobody can beat our transmission rebuild and repair experts. Brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, preventative maintenance, and service work make 2nd Street your first stop.
Cass Health in Atlantic, Iowa is a nationally recognized hospital, and we are proud of the awards and all of our recent accomplishments. But do you know what drives us to be the very best? You. We're passionate about helping our patients heal and feel their very best at any age and any stage of life. Cass Health, neighbors caring for neighbors.
Erickson has a good heater, and that's going to be his main pitch, I believe, here as he works out the stretch as well. 1-1 game with the bottom of the 6th. Curveball way outside. And the count of 1-1. Petty, the 7th hitter, Muller, and then Carter Hadley to bat for Atlantic, 7, 8, 9. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Here it is. That's a strike, inside corner. Placed that one perfectly as it nibbled the black on the inside edge of the dish. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Petty leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Brett Erickson, pitching in relief of Adam Beyer, who went 4 2/3 innings. Jack Muller will step in. Muller singled back of the 2nd. And he ground out of the 4th inning. 1-1 game. We're in the bottom half of the 6th. Tigers and the Trojans are tied up. Here's the pitch by Erickson, high and away for ball, 1-0 the count. So Petty strikes out to Erickson, and Jack Muller at the plate for Atlantic. Muller hitting .061, but he had a base hit earlier. Swings and misses at that pitch. Try to help himself here in the bottom half of number 6. Erickson in the stretch for the Tigers. Brings the pitch inside for a ball. When you look at Muller, and he's hitting under 100, but he had that hit as we mentioned. He's only had 33 at-bats coming in. He was 2 of 33. Sends that one high to center field. Back, and it's against the wall. Muller will stride to second base. He's got a stand-up double. Boy, he gave that a ride. And for a guy hitting to 100, he's having a night at the plate. Well, Muller at second base as he hit that one deep to center. And for a moment, we thought maybe that might sail out.
It's about that time when you start checking that stat sheet to make sure he's hitting under 100. 2 for 3 so far on this one. Jack Muller doing a great job.
Good point. Maybe the calculator was malfunctioning but you're right. His single, now a double, and he ground out his 2 for 3. Hadley, the batter, runner at second base. We have a runner for Muller at second. We'll pick him up. Here's the pitch. Strike called. 1-1 game. We're the bottom half of the 6th inning, and Muller with a stand-up double. Carter Hadley at the plate. Hudson McLaren on deck with 1 on and 1 out. Pitch is low in the dirt. Hadley with his first 2 at-bats of the season struck out and flew out to right. 1-1 is the count with a runner with a big lead at second. Erickson fires, swing and a miss, 1-2. Erickson with a good fastball. He's tried a couple of curveballs and they haven't worked for him. So he's been relying on the heater here so far. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Hadley, swing and a miss. Strike 3.
Swing and a miss.
Hadley strikes out. Now there's 2 down. Here comes Hudson McLaren.
Out number 2.
1 on and 2 down here in the bottom half of the 6th. 1-1 game.
Third baseman Hudson
McLaren will step in. Big lead at second base. In the stretch, Brett Erickson. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Erickson looking good. Hitting the corners. A lot more speed than Beyer. Beyer had a nice curve ball. He hit his corners as well. Here's the 0-1. Fastball, strike 2. 0-2 the count. We're the bottom of the 6th inning. We're tied at 1. Atlantic 1 running 6 hits. That double by Muller was a 6th hit of the game for the Trojans. Tigers are running 2 hits. Big lead at second. 1 on and 2 down. Here's the 0-2 pitch way outside. There goes the runner. Throw down to third base. They're going to get him easily. Well, yep, they got him. Trying to steal third with 2 down. Calvin Hayes was a runner, and he was thrown out. Going down to third base, and that'll be it for the Trojans. McLaren will bat again in the bottom half of the 7th for the Atlantic.
Go in order.
Well, we'll go to the top of number 7. We're tied 1-1, and we'll return right after this 1-minute timeout on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, WesternIowaToday.com.
At Outfitters Plus in Atlantic, you'll find all the latest in custom apparel and headwear. Head to Outfitters and work with the design pros to make your customized tees, team apparel, and personalized swag for your business a reality. Whether it's fan apparel for your high school or youth sports teams, your business, or you just want to make something your own, you'll have everyone saying, "Where'd you get that?" Don't forget, Outfitters will also add your group store online to make ordering a breeze. Get personalized at Outfitters Plus Outlet Store in Atlantic. Stop by today.
Looking for the ultimate place to host your party? It's time to roll into the Super Bowl on Highway 71 in Atlantic, the place to celebrate birthdays, family nights, or even date nights. Glow Bowling lights up your Friday and Saturday nights. We've got bumpers and ramps for the kiddos, and plenty of lanes for the grown-ups' bragging rights. Whether you're here to compete or just kick back and relax, the Super Bowl is where memories are made. Call Dan at 243-4656 to book your party today. The Super Bowl in Atlantic. Let the good times roll.
Is Tom Robinson.
And Jack McKee with us as well as we go to the top of the 7th inning. On the hill, Jack Muller, he's gone the distance, fires a pitch and a strike, and the count is 0-1 to Blake Sloan, his 3rd plate appearance, then Osell Peterson, and back to the top of the order. 8-9 and 1. And Blake Sloan struck out looking in the 2nd. Singled was left 3rd his 2nd time up. Pop fly, infield. Hudson McLaren, the 3rd baseman, makes the catch.
Blake Sloan.
1 up and 1 out for the Tigers here in the top of the 7th.
Designated hitter, Osell Peterson.
Osell Peterson, the DH, will stand in. I'm going to go back and look here at Osell Peterson. Yeah, 545. 6 hits, 11 at bat, so he hasn't hit that much. There's a foul ball. 0-1 the count. 1-1 game, we're in the top of the 7th. Osell, the DH, bats in the 9th spot. Right-handed hitter against the lefty Jack Muller has had quite a night at the hill. On the hill for Atlantic. Here's the pitch on the way to Osell. Curveball misses high and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike to Osell. The right-handed hitter, just a sophomore. Here's the 1-1, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jack pointed out earlier that Jack Muller had retired 10 straight at one point of the game. 1-2 pitch coming. Swing and a miss. Drop 3rd strike. Gavin, the catcher, will fire down to Petty for a strike. 2 up and 2 down for the Tigers here in the top of the 7th inning. Adam Beyer will stand in, who's gone from the hill to center field. Hazy, his 4th appearance, hit by a pitch twice and popped up to short. Left-handed batter in the top of the 7th, 1-1 game. Gab McLaren on the hill on the left. He brings the pitch, swung on and tipped foul left side. Count 0-1. I'd like to see what Muller's pitch count is at this point. He's been efficient. Here's the pitch coming, low and in. The lefty junior throwing for Atlantic. Still a young team. They're young last year, only won 1 game, and they've had a much better season so far. As you mentioned earlier, winning 5 out of 7. 1-1 pitch, curveball, strike 2. Nice pitch by Muller. Now we'll see what he can bring here. The top of the 7th inning, 1-1 game. Tigers will run on 2 hits. Atlantic will run on 6 hits. Each team committing 2 errors. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, a hot shot towards center field. Stabbed by Harris. He's got to throw to first, not in time. Gets away from Petty. But an infield single for Adam Beyer. His first hit of the game, and Harris went to his right, stabbed the ball, kept him going out into center field.
The batter will be the pitcher.
So here's Brett Erickson. Struck out swinging in the 1st, grounded out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th. On a 2-3. on a bunt. Here's the pitch. He's going to show bunt there. Missed for a strike, and on down to second base is Adam Beyer. So Beyer with a stolen bag. And Brett Erickson at the plate with 1 on and 2 down for the Tigers, top of the 7th inning. Big chance for Erickson here, the pitcher for the Tigers. Here's the pitch coming high and away. And the count is 1 ball to 1 strike to Brett Erickson. Brett, a right-handed hitter. Hitting 284. Here's the pitch. Outside for ball, gets away. And on to third base goes Beyer on the pass ball. Now he's at third with 2 down. Erickson has a chance with a runner at third base. Brett Erickson, a 284 hitter. He has 4 RBI. Came in 19 of 67 at the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a hot shot to second. Harris sure hands it. Fires the first. Gets the out. Atlanta gets out of the inning. So Erickson grounds out 4-3, Colin Harris. And that'll be it. They sent 4 to the plate. No runs on a hit. There was no errors and 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of 7th. We're tied at 1-1 Atlantic. Trying to put it away with a run. We're back right after these.
Gas prices got you down? Need a ride to work or the grocery store? There's public transportation for everyone in Southwest Iowa. SWITA offers taxi service in Atlantic, Glenwood, Harlan, Missouri Valley, Red Oak, and Shenandoah. $2.50 each way or $2 for seniors 60 years and older. Just call 1-800-842-8065 or visit swita.com to schedule your ride.
Stein delivers more new genetics faster. Our focus on delivering higher yielding genetics faster than the competition is why we have released more new Enlist E3 lines in the past 5 years than any other seed company. For elite genetics paired with simple, flexible, and effective weed control, plant Stein Enlist E3 soybeans. Stein has yield. 45 years of yield. Learn more at steinseed.com.
95.7 is KSWI Atlantic, a proud part of Meredith Communications. KS 95.7.
Welcome back in the broadcast here in Atlantic. Leadoff hitter Hudson McLaren will stand in. We're tied at 1. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Brett Erickson on the hill brings the pitch, swing and a miss. Hudson ground out. He walked, reached on an error. He's left twice. Leading off the bottom half of number 7. Here's the pitch on the way to Hudson. Low for ball. The count is 1-1. Adam Beyer went 4 2/3 for the Tigers. Jack Muller's gone the distance for the Trojans. Here's the pitch. Curves a strike. That's the first time we've seen that bender come through for Erickson. And now he's got a nice combination with that heater and the curveball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hudson. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. And Erickson gets the strikeout.
Strike 3 and out number 1.
Here's Cale Jensen.
That will be the Trojan center fielder, number 11, Cale Jensen.
Well, we can get this one in a hurry with a home run. Well, it's true, right?
It is true. It sounds like someone who wants to get home.
At the plate, Cale Jensen, he can do it. He had a dinger the other night. Here's the pitch, high and away by Erickson. But I'll tell you, Erickson's tough on the hill. Cale singled back in the first inning. Ground out in the second, flew out to left in the 4th. We're in the bottom of the 7th. We're tied 1-1, Red Oak and Atlantic. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high up the middle. Coming in Beyer, and it is a base hit for Cale Jensen. Winning run at first base. His second hit of the ninth, his 7th hit for the Trojans. And Gavin McLaren will step in. Reached on an error. Left at third. He walked in the 3rd inning. Left at first and struck out of the 5th. He sees Erickson for the 2nd time. 1 on, 1 out for Atlantic. Here in the bottom of the 7th, we're tied 1-1. Trojans 1 run and 7 hits, 2 errors. Tigers 1 run and 3 hits, 2 errors. Gavin, a right-handed hitter against the righty Brett Erickson. Adam Beyer, who is pitching, is in center. Brody Bynum goes to short. Now the stretch is Erickson. Jensen leads at first base for Atlantic. Here's the pitch on the way. High for a ball. The count is 1-0. Sawyer Terrell is on deck, and he's been active on the base paths. A single. He reached in a fielder's choice and ground out. There's a throw back to first. Not in time. Jensen back safely. He's the winning run, so they're going to keep an eye on him. We'll see if Coach Block sends him down to second base. Now we've got a timeout as McLaren checking his phone for a message. I don't know what that was about there.
That was the playbook, actually.
I know it was. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Well, you could text it to him.
It'd be nice if it was a phone instead.
You know,
I'm sure the kids would like it.
Text message to signal. 1-1 the count. Jensen at first. He'll throw back over, not in time. McLaren batting for the fourth time. And going through the fourth time of the order for Atlantic. 1 ball and 1 strike to McLaren. 1 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Inside. Oh, strike called. They called a strike of the inside edge. 1-2 the count to Gavin. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning. This thing has extra innings all over it. We'll see what the Trojans would do as far as the pitching is concerned, as Muller's gone. Complete 7 for Atlantic. Here's the pitch coming. There's a high fly ball, center field. There is Byer. He's got his glasses on and makes the catch for 2 down. Well, here's Sawyer Terrell.
Out to Adam Byer, the center fielder, 2 away.
Terrell, the batter, right-hander, singled and reached the fielder's choice and ground out to short. Jensen, the runner at first base. 2 down. The winning run at first for Atlantic in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 tie. Terrell at the plate, his 4th appearance. His first against Brett Erickson. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a tapper to third. Reese Montgomery gets through for a base hit. Rounding second is Cale Jensen. And Terrell with a single into left field. Hit number 8.
Into left field.
And Jensen goes to second. Now runners at first and second with 2 down. Here's Keston Smith.
Designated hitter Keston Smith.
And Smith, the DH, has a single to back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. 2 on, 2 down, 1-1 game. Bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch to Smith, low and away. On deck, Colin Harris. He's got a hit as well. Trojans scatter those hits from the top to the bottom of the lineup. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good curveball by Erickson or slider. 1-1 the count. A big rip by Keston Smith. Walked his last time up and was thrown out on the base pass. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's low for ball, 2-1. Jensen at second for Atlantic. Terrell at first. 1-1 game. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Brett Erickson on the hill for the Tigers. Works into the stretch. And the 2-1 pitch is on the way. Here it is. Low for a ball, 3-1. Hitters count for Keston Schmidt, the winning run at second base. That's Jensen. He'll lead away there. Terrell at first. Here's the pitch to Smith. Swung on, a ground ball to shortstop. Bond has it. Fires over to first, and he got him in time, and that'll be it. Extra innings we go here in Atlantic.
Shortstop, the end of the inning.
Trojans, no runs. They got a couple of hits in the inning.
2 runners left.
And a couple left. We're through 7. We go to extras. 1-1 game.
How about a big round of
We're back right after this.
We're playing very well.
One. Our extensive dealership network allows for amazing pricing and better vehicle selection. Plus, get a 5-year complimentary.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. Or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we're embracing new changes to better serve you. As an independent wealth manager, I'm excited to partner with LPL Financial, bringing you comprehensive tools and resources backed by personalized service and dynamic technology. My focus remains on helping you achieve your financial goals with integrity and care. Visit oakpointwealth.com or call me, Erin Friend, at 712-207-3521 to learn more.
Visit www.oakpointwealth.com, 712-207-3521 to learn more about how Oak Point Wealth Management can help you pursue your financial goals.
On the hill for the Trojans, here's the pitch coming in. That's a strike call. The count is 0-1. Carson Roeder at the plate. Montgomery and then Hall. There's a ground ball to third. That's going to be stabbed by Hudson McLaren. Fires the first. Gets the play. A tough play from McLaren. He stopped it as it was heading for the hole in left field. And the third baseman for Atlantic makes a nice play, Jack, for the out.
Yeah, caught it in stride there. Beautiful play there by Hudson.
One out for the Tigers. Here in the top of the eighth inning on a 5-3. A thing of beauty by Hudson McLaren. Reese Montgomery at the plate. Fouls that one off. For Roeder, he's 0 for 4. He's made contact all 4 times. He flew out to center, ground out. First base grounder, and then he grounds out to McLaren. Montgomery at the plate, reached an air, ground out, and flew out. Looks at one inside for a ball. 1-1 the count to Reese. His 4th plate appearance with Cale Hall standing in the circle, waiting to come in as a 3rd hitter of the inning. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's a strike. What a beauty. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Muller with a nice curveball that's been working well for him. He's allowed 1 run on 3 hits. 1-2 curve. Cold to strike 3. What a beauty. Man, oh man, did that broad drop into the well. 2 up and 2 down for the Tigers here at the top of the 8th inning. When you look at his strikeouts, he has 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts. And that would be number 5, 6, I believe, Jack. You might double check me there.
I believe it's 5, yeah.
Anybody got 6?
6, yep.
Cale Hall, the batter, walked unassisted twice to first base. Here's the pitch coming. Curveball hit down the right side. That's going to be a fair ball. Cale Hall gets a fair ball. He's going to round first. He's going to head for second. Here's the throw. Not in time. Hall with a double to right field. He went with the pitch. He went with the curveball. Beautiful job of hitting by Hall. And he gets a double, and he's the lead run for the Tigers at second base. That's a coach's dream when you hit like that, Jack, and you go with the pitch, and he went down the right side for extras. And he's the lead run for the Tigers for Brody Bond, who singled in the first inning and drove in a run. Bond looks at one inside, ball gets away. On to third base goes Hall, and boy, now the Tigers have a runner at third with 2 down. Lead runner at third for Red Oak. In the top of the 8th inning, we're tied 1-1. And the batter's Brody Bond. He singled in that run back of the first, ground out, and reached on an error. Count is 1-0 to Bond, the 6th hitter in the lineup. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Bond, a right-handed batter. He's hitting .250 before this evening's contest. Hall leads big at third. Here's the 2-0 pitch, outside 3-0. Cale falls behind, and Coach Schelling now probably standing up in the dugout. Jack's done a great job tonight. Kept his pitch count down. He's in the 8th inning. 3-0 pitch, that's ball 4. Now we may see Coach Schelling come out of that dugout here. 2 on, 2 down. Runners at first and third, and I did call it right. Here comes Coach Schelling out to talk to his pitcher, and maybe we'll have a change. While he goes out to the mound, we're going to take a break. We're back right after this on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com.
Atlantic Ag and Auto, your locally owned CarQuest Auto Parts store, is seeking help to fill a part-time or possibly full-time position. While experience in retail parts is preferred, it is not a deal breaker. The ideal candidate should have entry-level computer skills and be comfortable working with the public and having some fun while doing it. If you have excellent customer service skills, a valid driver's license, and a history of reliability, we would like to hear from you. Atlantic Ag and Auto is an equal opportunity employer located at 716 West 7th Street here in Atlantic.
47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
Meeting over, and Jack Buller stays in. 2 on, 2 down. Pitch is high for a ball. Lead run for the Tigers at third base. Runner at first is Bond. Hall at third. The batter is Mason Fisher. Here's the pitch inside for a ball. Fisher flew out to center, struck out, and flew out to left. 1-1, top of the 8th. Red Oak with 2 on and 2 down. Muller goes to work. Here's the pitch. That's a strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Not surprised he kept Jack in. We're not sure how many pitches he has. He's gone 7 2/3. There goes the runner at second base, and they're going to let him. So now 2 on and 2 down, and that run really, well, it'd be an insurance run, but the main thing was deception. They to see if Atlantic would bite on him. They did not. 2-1 pitch coming. There's a ground ball towards second. Harris has got a charge. This is going to be close. Bare hands it, fires, and it is an out at first base. What a play by Harris. They got him by a step. He had to bare hand it on that slow roller down the into the grass, and Harris got it and threw out Fisher in a 4-3 and kept the runner from scoring. How big a play was that?
That was beautiful. And speaking more to Muller, I mean, 8 innings through. He's doing a great job.
No runs for the Tigers. They had 1 hit. That was a double by Hall, and they left a couple on base. 1-1 game. Now the Trojans come to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. We're back right after these at 95.7 FM in our live video stream on WesternIowaToday.com.
Hey there, this is Tanner from your Atlantic Hy-Vee, and I've got some exciting news to share. Thanks to your feedback, we're currently rated the friendliest Hy-Vee in the entire company. That's a huge honor. On behalf of the whole team, thank you to everyone who's taken time to share their thoughts. Did you know you can leave feedback too? Just check the link on the bottom of your Hy-Vee receipt or in your email after a purchase. Whether it's a compliment or constructive criticism, I love reading our surveys and making sure we're always improving. And as always, thank you for shopping your Atlantic Hy-Vee.
When you're on the go, it's all about convenience. Add fantastic food, beverages, plus BP superior fuels, and you have Olson's BP in Atlantic. From sunup to sundown, we're the Keep You Going store. From our loaded breakfast burritos and Bunker Dunker donuts to our delicious Champs chicken and pizza to go, we have the food you crave. Don't forget the cold beer in the beer cave. Stop in and fill her up. There's always something you need at Olson's BP, the Keep You Going store, 2nd and Locust in
the bottom half of the 8th. Colin Harris will step in for Atlantic. We're tied at 1. Brett Erickson on the hill for the Tigers. Harris with his 4th at bat. Here's the pitch to Colin. There's a rip, a nice stroke, and he fouls it straight back. Harris 1 for 3. Singled back in the 2nd inning. Thrown out at going to 2nd. 1-1 the count. He's the winning run at the plate. Fouls that one straight back, same spot. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harris, Petty, Muller for Atlantic. 6, 7, and 8 for the Trojans. 1 run and 8 hits. Tigers 1 run and 4. Erickson on the hill. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball misses high. Colin Harris. Well, leadoff hit would be big for the Trojans here. He's the winning run. That pitch is a slow roll to third. Montgomery gloves it. He'll rifle to first and get the out easily. 5-3 on Harris.
Colin Harris grounds out to Reese Montgomery.
There comes Petty. Fielder's choice popped up and struck out. Grant struck out his first time against Brett Erickson. Rod-headed batter. Righty against righty. Atlantic and Red Oak in that girls' softball. Atlantic 1-0 in game 2. They won the first one 12-0. Here's the pitch to Petty. High for a ball. 1-0 the count. Jack Muller scheduled to hit next for the Trojans. We'll see if that is the case. 1-0 the count to Petty. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled straight back. It will be Muller batting next. Petty now the winning run at the plate for the Trojans here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Curveball, strike 2. 1-2 to Grant. 7th hitter in the Trojan lineup. Brett Erickson gets the sign from his catcher, Roeder. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, high. Good eye by Petty to lay off that one. Grant batting 182 on the year. 8 of 44 coming in. 2-2 the count with 1 out. Here's the pitch. Just missed away, and the count goes full to 3-2. Petty, then Muller. Muller singled back in that second inning. He hit a double the 6th. He's 2 for 3. 3-2 offering. Swung on, hit up the middle. That's going to be a base hit, maybe. Petty with speed. Head down the line. He gets there safely. The throw from Fisher, the second baseman. And Grant Petty safe at first. So the winning run at first base. And the batter's going to be Jack Muller. He doubled his last time up.
Save at first on the infield single.
Infield single for Petty.
Number 10, Jack Muller.
Jack Muller with the plate, the winning run at first. Muller singled back in the second and doubled in the 6th inning. Is run for by Calvin Hayes, but the winning run at first. With nobody down here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Muller, and on deck is Carter Hadley. 8 hitter in the lineup is Jack Muller. Petty leads at first. Throw back over. Petty dives head first back to the bag. Well, the Trojans have one of their fastest runners on the base paths here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Petty will lead away at first base, and the stretch is Erickson. Pitching to Jack Muller. Here's the pitch, high for a ball. 1-0 the count. Erickson batting or pitching in relief for Adam Beyer, who went to center. Brody Bott short. Petty leads at first base. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Muller. Swung on a big cut. Fouled back, 1-1 the count. You steal him here, Jack?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, Roeder's got a great arm back there, and I mean, I feel like everyone's trying to get home early, so I mean, why risk it?
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch on the way. Curveball hit right back at Erickson. Double play. Oh, man. Muller had a sizzler right back at Erickson with a great reaction. And really wasn't Grant Petty's fault. He was just hung up, and a double play. And that's going to be it for the Trojans. We go to the 9th. And it's a 1-1 game. We're back right after these on 95.7 FM and our live video stream, WesternIowaToday.com.
To the Super Bowl on Highway 71 in Atlantic, the place to celebrate birthdays, family nights, or even date nights. Glow Bowling lights up your Friday and Saturday nights. We've got bumpers and ramps for...
At Seed Pros, our mission is to be your business partner every day of every season.
Pioneer Hybrid International was founded in Iowa back in 1926 and is still American today. Not many other seed providers can make that claim.
We partner with you to continually push the limits by combining elite seed genetics, local infield knowledge, along with customer service second.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
Welcome back to Atlantic. We go to the top of the 9th. 1-1 game, and the new pitcher for Atlantic, Keston Schmidt. But Jack, what an outing for Jack Muller.
Yeah,
I mean, big hand for him, huh? I mean, a great job.
It's one thing to go 7 innings, and to keep going on, trudging on into extra innings as a starter, very impressive.
Schmidt, the pitcher for Atlantic, throws one outside. And the batter is Blake Sloan. So Muller at first, and Petty goes out to left. I believe that's the case. We'll double check that. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Sloan. Get him. Hit him on the left shoulder.
Blake Sloan hit by...
So Blake will take first base. The leadoff hitter is on base, and Osell Peterson will step in, the 9th hitter in the Tiger lineup. 1-1 game. We're the top of the 9th. Osell, a right-handed batter. So I believe that's Petty went from first to left. Muller's at first base. I believe that's the case. Schmidt on the hill. Coach Erickson comes in to check with the home plate umpire. And I believe we've got a pinch hitter for Osell, maybe. And it could be Fisher. No, I don't think that's the case.
I think it's still Osell.
Yep, it is Osell. That team looks like it's an 18 there almost. Still Osell will stand in. He's a couple of strikeouts and a sack. 0 for 2.
17, Jackson Purdue.
Jackson Purdue will run at first base. The lead run for the Tigers with the top of the ninth. 1-1 game. Osell Peterson at the plate. Cashin Smith in the stretch. Here's the pitch, bunt down the right side, foul. And the count 0-1. Runs have been hard to come by for these teams. The Tigers scored a run in the first inning. And Atlantic able to plate a run in the bottom of the third. 0-1 pitch on the way to Osell. The bunt down the third base line, charging Hudson McLaren. Looks at second, fires, gets the force out. Nice job by Hudson McLaren. He had the wherewithal to go to second and get that lead run. He throws out Sloan on a 5-4.
Second base.
And a fielder's choice arrival by Osell Peterson at first. Now he's a lead run with 1 out. Adam Beyer will step in. Hit by a pitch, pop up, hit by a pitch, and singled. Lefty against Schmidt. Here's the pitch by the righty. There's a pop up. Right side Muller coming over towards the first base dugout. Couldn't get to it, and the count is 0-1. It's out of play. Top of the ninth inning. Game started at 6:30 this evening. 8:28 the time. We're nearing a 2-hour time. Here in the ninth. These two teams will play again in early July. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch on the way to Beyer. High for a ball. The count 1-1. Schmidt, the DH for Ritter. Goes from DH to pitch. Petty from first to left field, and Muller from the pitching mound to first base. 1 on, 1 out for the Tigers here in the top of the ninth. 1-1 game. Schmidt brings the pitch. Here it is. Swung on and ripped down the first base side, foul. And the count goes to 1-2 to Adam Beyer. Softball game, 3-0 Atlantic in game number 2 of the nightcap. 3 runs and 5 hits. No scores for Red Oak and no hits so far in that one. Atlantic won the first one 12-0. 1-2 the count with 1 on and 1 out. Adam Beyer at the plate. Righty Schmidt against lefty Beyer. Here's the pitch coming. High for a ball, 2-2 the count. Otherwise, Trojans' defense is still intact. Terrell at short, Hudson McLaren at third, Harris at first, and then Muller now, or at second rather, Muller at first. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way, hit him. Now there's 2-1.
Adam Beyer hit by the pitch, puts runners at first and second with 1 out.
He's been hit a few times.
Will be the pitcher, number 14, Brett Erickson.
Brett Erickson will step in. He's 0 for. He struck out, ground out, ground out, ground out. 3 ground outs and a strikeout. So Brett will stand in for the Tigers with 2 on here in the top of the ninth inning, 1-1 game. Brett Erickson hitting .284 coming in the game tonight. He was 19 of 67. Here's the pitch to Erickson, high and in. 1-0 the count. Runners at first and second with 1 down. The Tigers have a chance. The lead run at second base for Red Oak is Peterson. Beyer at first. Pitches high and in. Keston having some issues with control. Erickson, the second hitter in that lineup. Carson Roeder on deck for the Tigers. And now we've got a timeout. Coach Shelding's going to walk out to the hill. And as he does, we'll take a break. We're tied at 1, but the Tigers have 2 on and 1 out here in the top of the ninth inning.
At Rolling Hills Bank and Trust, we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We've been dedicated to our communities for over 35 years. From real estate and ag loans to personal and commercial banking, we offer a full range of financial services tailored to meet your needs. We believe in giving back and being involved in the communities we serve. Stop into one of our 12 convenient locations or visit us at rollinghillsbank.com.
And the meeting over, and Schmidt stays put on the hill. 2 on, 1 out. Lead run at second base. We're tied at 1 in the top of the ninth. Gaston Schmidt on the hill for Atlantic. Brings the pitch. Strike cold right down the pipe. Erickson the batter for the Tigers. 0 for 4. Runners lead away at first and second base. Schmidt brings the 2-1 pitch. Bunt shown. Pitch outside, 3-1. Now he's threatening to load the bases. Osell Peters at second. Byer at first. Brett Erickson the batter. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Bunt. Foul ball. Now the count is full at 3-2. Good pitch by Gaston Schmidt in the zone. Now he's going to back with a strike here with Peterson. The runner at second and Byer at first. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Erickson here at the top of the ninth inning. 1-1. Game. Atlantic a run on 9 hits. Red Oak 1 run on 4. They lead away at first and second. Schmidt at the stretch, and the 3-2 pitch is coming in outside or inside for a ball. Now the base is loaded for the Tigers with only 1 out.
Erickson draws the base on ball, loads the base.
So Peterson goes to third, and Byers to second. Erickson to first on the walk.
Catcher, number 1, Carson Roeder.
Carson Roeder has a chance to be a hero here, possibly. With the bases loaded and 1 out here at the top of the ninth inning. 1-1 game. Of course, the Trojans will get their side out in the bottom half. Roeder 0 for 4. He's made contact every time. Here's the pitch to Roeder. Inside for ball, gets away. Here comes a runner from third. The Tigers take the lead. Peterson scores on the pass ball, and around they go to Byer to third and Erickson to second base.
That's why I say never underestimate the role of the catcher. I mean, on slow burners like this game, their role is more important than ever, and Gavin McLaren definitely not happy with himself.
1-0 the count, and a 2-1, and 1 out for the Tigers here in the top of the ninth inning. 2-1 lead. So Carson Roeder will be the hitter. Gaston Schmidt with some control issues there, and that one a pass ball was low and in. Here's the pitch on the way. That one's a strike on the inside edge. Nice placement by Keston. 2-1. 2 on, 1 out. Schmidt trying to get a strike here. First base open. Here's the pitch. There's a deep fly ball left field. Back goes Petty. He's got it. Makes the catch. The tag from third. Insurance run for the Tigers. They lead 3-1. So Roeder did his job and got the cushion with a sac fly and RBI. And Byer will score from third. And now it's a 3-1 lead for the Tigers. And 2 down, and here is Reese Montgomery. Montgomery in his 5th plate appearance, reached an air ground out, flew out and struck out. Schmidt, the pitch. There's a fly ball, pop-up, foul ball over the first base dugout. Top of the ninth, and the Tigers have scored a pair of runs on no hits. There's been 2 hit batters, a walk, and a sac fly. 1-0 the count to Montgomery with that foul ball. Here's the pitch coming high and away. 2 down for the Tigers. They've got 1 on. And 2 and 3-1 ball game. 3-1 the count. Here's Schmidt. And the pitch on the way. There goes a runner. There's a pop-up infield. That's out of play. And the runner has to go back to a second, and that's Brett Erickson. Erickson drew the walk. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to Reese Montgomery. Righty gets righty here. Montgomery at the plate. Schmidt gets the sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming. High and in 2-2. 6-hitter appear for the Tigers here at the top of the 9th inning. 3-1 game. Red Oak plates appear here in the top of number 9. Schmidt in the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on. A hot shot up the middle. That could score another run. Rounding third is Erickson. He's going to head for home. Here's the throw. Not in time. And the Tigers now get another cushion. And a base knock by Reese Montgomery. And he drives home a run.
Reese Montgomery was the base hit up the
And it's a 4-1 Tiger lead.
The third run of the inning.
They've scored 3 runs in the frame. And they lead 4-1
There will be number 3
with a base hit by Montgomery, an RBI single. And Cale Hall at the plate. He doubled his last time up and left at third. 1 on, 2 down for the Tigers. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 4-1 the count. Favor of the Red Oak Tigers. Strike cold on Cale Hall. Top of the 9th inning. 4-1 Red Oak. A run on the first, and they've scored 3 in this frame as Schmidt tries to get out of here. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. That's outside for a ball. 2-0 the count to Cale Hall, who walked. Ground out twice to Petty at first when he played that bag, and he hit that 2-bagger in the 8th inning. And we're in the 9th, top of the 9th, with Montgomery at first base on that RBI single. 2-0 pitch coming in. That's outside for ball 3. 3-0 the count. Gaston Smith pitching relief of Muller, who went all 8 innings for the Trojans. He was sharp. I think he just ran out of pitches, Jack, and had to get him out of there. That's ball 4. Oh, they call that a strike. 3-1 the count to Cale Hall. Montgomery at first. 4-1 Tigers with the top of the 9th. They've added 3 runs here in the inning. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and ripped foul. Now the count is full at 3-2 to Hall. Brody Bond is on deck. He had his RBI single back in the first inning to put the Tigers up 1-0 at the top of the first, and he ground out. He reached an error and he walked. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cale Hall, right-handed batter. Montgomery at first. We're in the 9th. And seeing the sun set in the west. Finally gets it out of our eyes, Jack.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure the camera is happy, too.
Oh, I bet it is, too. 3-2 pitch, swung on, ground ball to short. Terrell has it, lobs a second for the out on a 6-4. Well, the Tigers make some hay. They sent 7 batters to the plate, and they scored 3 runs on 1 hit, a sac fly by Roeder. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and the Trojans need some runs. They're down 4-1. We're back right after these.
First Winnie Bank is the longest-standing locally owned bank in Atlantic, and as such, we take pride in how we serve our community. For generations, we have been involved with our customers and their families by getting involved in community events and by supporting technology and teaching financial literacy in our schools. You'll also see our support of athletics on the scoreboards at home events. It's this involvement that allows us to know our customers and their families for generations. First Winnie Bank, the only bank you'll ever need. Member FDIC.
Have you ever heard the saying, people spend their life building wealth and neglecting their health, only to wish they could trade their wealth for better health at the end? This is Dr. Fritz Beyer, and it has now been over 30 years since my first chiropractic adjustment. I still get asked, do you get adjusted? Absolutely. I try to get adjusted at least once a month. I'm 47 now and still try to stay as active as ever. While I do get a few more aches and pains than when I was younger, it feels great to be able to step on the mat and help kids learning to wrestle. Chiropractic has helped me feel young enough to do it. If staying active is part of your future plans, call 254-BODY to get your body back to the basics.
I'm half of the 9th, and the Trojans down 4-1. Johnny Kors, the batter. There's the pitch. Outside for a ball. Getting a text message that Coach Schelling's birthday today, Tom McLaren. Is that what you're asking me? Coach Schelling's birthday today. Just got a text. Okay, thank you. 2-0 the count to Kors, getting his first at bat here, batting for Hadley. The ninth in the lineup, 4-1. Tigers top, bottom of the ninth inning. There's a pitch high for a ball. Erickson falls behind 3-0 to Coors. Then back to the top of the order with McLaren and Jensen. Atlantic needs some base runners, down 4-1. Here's the pitch to Coors. Strike call. Nice pitch. Coors yet to swing. He's got the count, though. 3 balls and a strike. Erickson out of the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Johnny Coors. Brett Erickson pitching in relief for the Tigers for Adam Beyer, who's in center field. 3-2 the count. Here it is. Swung on a tapper towards second. Picked up by Fisher. Lobs to first. There's one down. So Coors grounds out, and McLaren will step in for Atlantic. Nobody on, 1 out for the Trojans. Bottom of the ninth inning. Atlantic with a 7-6 win over Corinda last night. They came from behind to do it.
The batter is Hudson McLaren.
Hudson McLaren at the plate. Here's the pitch. That's a strike on the inside edge. So Coors grounds out. And McLaren, the batter for the Trojans. Here's the pitch, high for ball, count 1-1. Take a look at Hudson's approaches tonight. The leadoff batter ground out. He walked, reached an error, and struck out swinging against Erickson his last time. 1-1 pitch. He rips to right field. That's a base hit. So McLaren keeps the Trojans' hopes alive here in the bottom half of the ninth inning with a base hit to right field. Jensen will step in. Trojans have their meat of the order at the plate right now, and Cale Jensen, the batter.
1 away. The batter is center fielder Cale Jensen.
4-1. Tigers with the lead. 1 on and 1 out for Atlantic. Jensen, single to the first inning, was left. Ground out, flew out, single to back of the 7th. He's 2 for 4. Pitch way outside for ball. Throw down to first base. It gets away. And Hudson thought about it for a moment, then he thought, nah, we need 3 runs. So this is we need a bunch.
I'm sure if it rolled a few feet further, he definitely would have given it a go. But.
Yeah. 1-0 the count to Jensen with McLaren at first. Here's the pitch coming. Curveball, strike 1. 1-1 the count to Cale. Cale with a couple of home runs this year. Had one a week ago against Shenandoah. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cale. Hudson at first base. Throw it over to first, not in time. Atlantic down by 3 runs. Really surprised Erickson really putting a lot of attention on that particular runner. He needs to get 2 hitters to get out of here. Here's the 1-1 pitch coming in. There's a swing and a ground ball. Shortstop, Bond. Lumber heads to the second for 1, and they'll hold it. Jensen reaches in a fielder's choice, and McLaren is thrown out at second. Well, there's 2 down for Atlantic. Here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jensen, the runner at first via the fielder's choice, and the Tigers lead 4-1 with 3 runs at the top of this frame.
Catcher Gavin McLaren.
Gavin McLaren will step in, reached an error, he walked, struck out, and flew to center field. The catcher for the Trojans here in the bottom of the 9th inning. There's a strike inside corner. Count 0-1 to Gavin. Jensen, the runner at first base. 4-1 Tigers here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Count 0-1. Here's the pitch on the way. Swung on, popped up. In foul territory, and it is out of play. The count 0-2 to Gavin McLaren. Coors ground out to start off the frame. Hudson McLaren with a single. Forced out at second, and then Jensen's ground ball to short. Bond to Fisher on that play, 6-4. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Gavin trying to keep the Trojans alive here. And the count is 0-2, and Erickson on the hill for the Tigers looks in. Jensen leads at first base. I think with 10 hits in the game. Here's the pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has a few to waste here, and Gavin, definitely a dangerous hitter for the Trojans. Gavin hitting .340 coming in. Here's the 1-2 pitch, high for a ball. There's a throw down to first, not in time. The tying run is actually in the on deck. If you want to look at it that way, it's 4-1. 1 on and 2 down for the Trojans here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Get a throw back to first base. Erickson the stretch. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gavin. Here's the pitch. Swung on a high fly ball left center field. Back. It's going to go for extras. Rounding third is Cale Jensen. He's going to score to make it a 4-2 game. And McLaren with a stand-up double scores Jensen all the way from first base.
Gavin McLaren with the stand-up double in the power alley in left center field.
And the game, now the score cut in half.
In 1 run, brings up the
How about Gavin McLaren with that RBI double, Jack?
I mean, way to stand up to the pressure. You know you got work to do as a team, and Gavin McLaren stands up into it.
Atlantic has a runner at second, 2 down. It's a 4-2 game with that RBI double. Sawyer Terrell at the plate for the Trojans here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the 1-0 to Terrell. Ground ball foul, third base side. The count goes to 1-1. Terrell, the shortstop, at the plate with Gavin McLaren, the RBI double at second. 4-2 Atlantic sliced the lead to in half here in the bottom of the 9th. 1-1 pitch, curve high for a ball. 2 balls and a strike to Sawyer. A .250 hitter. 9 RBI. Gavin McLaren just stroked his 13th RBI of the season. 2-1 pitch, high and in, 3-1. Tying run at the plate for Atlantic. It's a 4-2 game in the bottom of the 9th inning. Gavin McLaren leads at second. 3 balls and a strike to Sawyer Terrell. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back down, full count. Righty Erickson against a right-handed hitter, Sawyer Terrell. Batting in the 4th spot for Atlantic. .379 on base percentage, a slugging percentage of .312. 3 balls and 2 strikes, McLaren at second. Here's the pitch. High ball for Atlantic with 2-1. Now the tying run is at first base.
Sawyer Terrell.
Trojans down 4-1 coming into this inning. And they've done some damage with 2 outs.
20, Keston Schmidt.
Jensen at first and the fielder's choice with 2 down, and Gavin with that RBI double scoring Jensen. Now Sawyer Terrell with the walk. Trojans have the tying run at first, a winning run. Keston Schmidt is batting for the Trojans. Schmidt a .265 hitter. Here's the pitch. That's a ball inside. 2-0 the count to Schmidt. Erickson brings the pitch. High and in, ball 3. Man, he could load the bases here. Runners at first and second, tying run at first, the winning run at the plate, Keston Schmidt. He won't be swinging at this one at all. Erickson needs to bring a strike, and he does. Now it's 3-1. Gavin McLaren at second base, that RBI double. Sawyer Terrell at first via the walk. Here's the pitch coming. There's a high fly ball left field. Cale Hall is back, and he is going to make the catch. And that's going to be it for the Trojans.
Pops out to Cale Hall.
Well, they made a run at it, Jack McKee, in the bottom half of the 9th, but credit the Tigers. They scored 3 runs at the top of the frame to make it a 4-1 game. And the Trojans, with a run in the bottom half, they sliced it in half, but a final 4-2 and a good baseball game tonight with 2 solid pitchers. And the Tigers prevailed here this evening. Post-game show coming up, and we're back right after these.
Get ready for a fresh start at Greg Young Atlantic. Our Greg Young Fresh Start program helps you hit the road with confidence, overcome credit challenges with personalized financing, and a wide selection of great vehicles. Visit us today to find your brand new Chevy, GMC, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, or check out our huge pre-owned selection at GregYoungAtlantic.com and GregYoungCDJRAtlantic.com. And to apply. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Here at Greg Young, we go the extra mile for you.
At Oak Point Wealth Management, we're embracing new changes to...
As the Atlantic Trojans and the Tigers battle here through 9 innings, and Renault comes out with a lead, Jack, and your thoughts on the way this thing ended tonight?
I was right. I said it'd be a pitcher's duel to start it off,
right.
and Jack Moeller along with Adam Beyer, definitely made that happen. Jack Muller with 8 complete innings thrown. A great night for him. Unfortunately, he'll be taking the loss, or I believe he will. And, I mean, up till in that 9th inning, I mean, it was anybody's ball game. But, I mean, Red Oak Tigers definitely stripped something together. They had a couple nice hits, and, I mean, they really stood up to the pressure. And Atlantic tried to string something together there with some nice base runners there. But a pop out to left field from Keston Smith. And some great duty work out there in left field by Cale Hall made sure that didn't happen.
Well, if you look at the Trojans, Hudson McLaren had 1 hit. He was 1 for 4. Cale Jensen had another good night at the plate. He had 2 hits for Atlantic in 5 at-bats. And Gavin McLaren had that double in the 9th inning. He ended up with a walk, and he was 1 for 4 for the Trojans. Sawyer Terrell had a pair of hits for Atlantic here this evening, and Keston Smith had a single to back in the 3rd. A lot of guys got in on the hitting train, Jack, and Colin Harris had a single. Grant Petty also with a single for the Trojans. Jack Muller had a single and a double. And Atlantic, and that's the hitting, the Trojans. Really, they did everything they could to win the game, but the deal was Red Oak had that big rally in the top of the 9th inning. Yeah. And Adam Beyer scoring after being hit by a pitch. Brett Erickson walked and scored in that frame. And Osel Peterson, he also got to first base, I believe on a fielder's choice, and Blake Sloan hit by a pitch, but 3 big runs in that 9th inning. That was a big difference in the game here this evening. So the Trojans and the Tigers will play again, I believe, if not next week, they'll match up, I think, here in about 10 days again as they wrap up the season. But Red Oak picks up their 10th win of the year with this victory over Atlantic tonight. But, boy, you're right. We saw two pitchers really pitch well here this evening. So Glenwood next on Red Oak's list here. That game was postponed, and they'll play at Glenwood tomorrow night. Atlantic, well, they're going to be off tomorrow night, and they do have a couple of new dates for games. July 1st, they'll play that makeup with St. Albert at 10 a.m., okay, 10 a.m. on July 1st. They'll match up with St. Albert, and the St. Albert doubleheader with the Atlantic softball team is July 5th, and that starts at 10 a.m. As well. So next up for the Trojans, they will, looks like they're going to take on, well, that's a game St. Albert here. We're going to find out here as there's a lot of postponements. Panorama, they'll play them on the 2nd, so St. Albert the 1st. And Panorama the 2nd will have that broadcast right here at 95.7 FM, the baseball game with Atlantic and Panorama right back here. Jack, thanks a bunch. Great job. Fun working with you. And I guess we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom.
However that schedule works, we'll see you. Hey, big thanks to those listening and watching on our live video stream, westerniowatoday.com, and our monitor back in the studios, Mr. Michael Sheriff. For Jack McKee, I'm Tom Robinson. Thanks for joining us, and so long from Atlantic.